So next important topic that we are going to discuss now is related to handling gestures. So gestures as in if I navigate to a website, let's say if I go to a website, flipkart.com. Now almost on every website these days, you're gonna find let's say these menus, right? So these are mouse over menus. I'm not clicking on these options. At times, if I click on it, there are some UI attached to that. I mean, if it is a clickable thing, there is some interface attached to it, right? Like if I click on this shirt, it take me to shirts interface, right? So I'm doing mouse over. Along with mouse over, if you see some element, something like this, see, I'm sliding this element. This is a slider, right? At times you may come across like you need to this image size is small. Maybe there is expanding option available. You click on it and expand the image to make it bigger in size, right? At times you may need to drag this and drop it somewhere else, right? You may need to right click on this image, right? So all these things are basically gestures. And in order to handle these gestures, there is a class dedicated in a WebDriver. That is, if I go to Selenium HQ and to the documentation, so if I go to this Java document, it's taking a bit time to load. Give me a moment. There seems to be some issue with my Chrome browser. Anyways, it opens fine on Firefox. So if you go over here, you're gonna see there's a class called as actions. So this is what the action class I was talking about. It is the user-facing API for emulating complex user gestures. So if you go down, there is a method summary. You can do click, click and hold, double click, drag and drop. N number of methods are there. In order to move the mouse, there's a method called as move to element, provided the web element, right? So we're going to take a look at this example. Now, let's say I'm going to pick up a website. I'll directly navigate it through Google. So I'll go to Google, type way to automation and click on Google search. So after this, I'll click on way to automation and then I'll go to this website. From here, let's say I go to resources and click on practice site 1. So this is a scenario that I need to automate, right? So up till here you need to do. But yes, you need to follow it through Google. This is because, I mean, you may gonna face some synchronization issues as well if you're navigating or switching in between the websites, right? So let us see how we're gonna do it. Let's try to automate it. If we want to do it on Firefox, then we'll try to handle all the locators through Firefox. We have seen a couple of examples through Chrome. Now we're gonna try it on Firefox. So what I'll do, I'll create a new class for actions. So first we'll try to handle the mouse over operation. So test mouse over. Right, and let me copy this code and change it from Chrome to Firefox. Right, and give over here http google.com. Right, after this, I'll be typing something over here, like way to automation. And see, this is a common thing on this search box. The locator name equal to Q will always be there, right? The ID may change, other things may change, but this name Q is constant from past 8 years, right? There's nothing change in this. So you can directly do it like driver dot find element by dot name Q, and then in the send keys, you can type the value way to automation. And after this, after entering the value way to automation, you need to click on Google search. So inspect this element. And if you want to take the XPath, take the XPath, copy XPath, and say driver dot find element by dot XPath this dot click. After clicking on this, we'll go to the next page. Right, and then we're going to click on way to automation, right? So I'll inspect this element as well and get the XPath, copy XPath, and then I'll say driver dot find element by dot XPath this dot click. So let's run this much and see if it navigates and clicks on way to automation link or not. Say then click on the Google search. Okay, I think we have not performed. We have actually performed click, but why it didn't click? Let's see. So the exception says element not interactable exception. See, we started getting the synchronization issues, right? So this could be handled using explicit wait. Maybe I'll give the explicit wait related to visibility condition, right? So how are we going to give it? WebDriver wait equal to new WebDriver wait driver and then 5 seconds. Import it. And instead of this, say wait dot until expected conditions dot visibility of element located by, right, and give by dot XPath, and then say dot click. Right, let's run this. See, it clicked and it has gone to way to automation, right? Now, after reaching here, I want to do a mouse over onto resources. So I'm going to inspect this element, inspect resources, and I'll take the XPath, copy XPath, and see, I need not to click on it. I just need to do a mouse over. So what I'll do, I'll first find this element by dot XPath, store it into this, store it into a variable, let's say web element menu equal to this, right? import this, and now we're going to call actions. We'll say actions, action equal to new action. So we need to create an object of this actions class, import it, Control Shift O, and there's a constructor that accepts the reference of your driver. So you need to pass on this driver reference over here. That's it. Now you should be able to call the methods from the action class. So one of the method is action dot move to element, which accepts your web element where you want to move. That is menu. But this will directly not going to execute. This is because if you look at this API document, in this action class, all the methods are again returning you the object of actions, right? So there's only one method, that is a void method, that is perform. This is a method for performing the actions. So this is mandatory in action class. Whenever you want to call any method or execute any method from action class, you need to add dot perform at the end. So if you add dot perform, then only it will gonna execute that action, right? So once the action is executed, we now need to click on practice site 1. So let's inspect that element. So this is practice site 1. This is basically a link, see. So I can directly copy the text and say driver dot find element by dot instead of X path, I'm gonna do link text by dot link text. So this is another locator and say dot click. So you need to give the exact text. So let's run it and let's see if all the things are successfully executed, and it should do a mouse over and then click on that. Let's see. See, it did a mouse over on resources, and now we are on the practice site 1, right? So this is how we'll be handling the mouse over operations. In the next example, we're gonna see some more usage of actions. All right. So even if we talk about mouse movement, you're not gonna see that the mouse, the physical mouse is moving, right? It just simulate the mouse. It's actually do a mouse movement on the middle of that element, right? So what it did, it just moved the mouse to the middle of this element so that the element get focused, and the mouse, as soon as it is focused, it will display the submenus inside it. All right. Thank you.